Man, if only I could reference Infinity War right about now, but I won't. So no spoilers. Well, besides the chapter itself, of course. It appears that the arc has ended here. If not, close to the ending. Like I said before, I wasn't much of a fan of the concept behind this arc outside of Gento and La Brava due to how it was placed in the background and used as an excuse to have some tension or have stakes in hand. If the arc ends here, it will prove how low important it has been portrayed. That said, it would at least end nicely for the arc. The chapter's tension is on the decision on whether to cancel the festival or not, because Hondog senses hostile or at least disturbance. The flashback scene shows a brief moment of when he requested backups from Ectoplasm, but the real point of it is to begin the tension to suspend the festival. It was the only part left to cover. Hondo interrogates Gento with vicious look, practically giving the audience the doubtful feeling of the festival being saved. It doesn't help that one of the guys brought up his villain act Wrecker, so all the merrier to confirm hostile. Another bonus is that Hondog knows that there are 3 people he sent in that were in the cause, which Deku got springboard off the scene. Literally. Speaking of Deku, thankfully he landed and heads towards to the scene anyway. One of the main highlights I liked is Gento's monologue while confessing his troubles. He has newfound respect for Deku and gracious that they have fought. What's also nice is how this battle led to him recognizing his inner self as a guy who still has a quality of a hero. Case in point, a heart to look after others. During his monologue, his confession intertwines with his thoughts that slowly built his way to his plan to help La Brava, as his hands got enough dirt to be sentenced to prison for a long period of time. She, on the other hand, has a chance to be sentenced for a short period, but he wants to be assured of it by confessing her action to be brainwashed by him. Look, if Obito from Naruto can be called the coolest guy ever, I'm sure she will be fine. But seriously, although he gave it away already that he would pull a stunt to save her, it was still nice of him to put his selfishness aside. He may be anti-hero, as I like to call him, more so than a villain, but the heroism in him is still there, only done in a different and probably ironic manner. It's still sad to see La Brava all hurt about being separated from Gento. It makes it more painful to know that he's sacrificing himself for her, which could give him a longer time in prison. It's the only way he can think of to put her in a safer position, though it would be ironic if she ended up in the wrong path anyway, unless she would be another Eri. If so, does Kohi like making all small girls hopeless and unhappy until the protagonist step in? I wonder. Anyway, it's still a shame for her. It goes down to Deku to be the breaking point of the conflict. If he were to say they had a fight, then that would have resulted a suspension. I don't know if he was aware of calling it out would result to that, but regardless, it was a good call on his part to delude the heroes to believe it's just a silly prank and they had a small dispute. The tension ends once Hondog called the emergency off. It's a bit odd that they brought it in easily. Let's say otherwise, but so long he keeps the festival around, that's fine. Why does it cleanse Gento's action? Deku at least give him a small break. The only downside, I suppose, would be he won't get any recognition once again. Because if there's no real fight, there's no real hero act. I guess I'm just numb at this point, so whatever. Gento is definitely that type of villains who are taught by the protagonist like in other shonen series when he shares his words of wisdom to him. You can call this Deku's Talk no Jetsu moment if you like. It's not much of an advice or anything Deku would develop from, but it is his send-off to show more of his good side charisma. Also, it does finish his monologue of placing others before themselves, or in this case, putting the joy to the one who needed it, is one way to connect Deku and his dilemma with Eri. The last main highlight is Deku arriving to the festival in time for his class to perform. The one part that I like the most is the clarification of what Deku meant by calling his last battle the toughest one. Thank goodness Kohi can still make certain points clearer, unlike the whole future can be changed shenanigans. While I do think it could have been addressed in the last chapter with deeper emphasis, at least it's reassuring to understand without resorting to fans' inserts. Make no mistake, I'm not saying you have no right to do any of them. However, sometimes the writer will say otherwise, and when it happens, that's where you draw the line. Even if it is said vaguely, that's the writer's execution, with Deku establishing the battle to be tough due to the similar sentiments to fight for someone else's sake. It helps the last battle morale to be defined as fighting for others. Yes, you can argue that there are big differences in that regard, and yes, you can say it's a bit forced to connect, but it is done to draw the intended theme of not just that fight, but the arc itself. The Class 1A concert was about to start, so the only tension left is whether Deku will make it in time. I guess that's why Kohi didn't make this battle too tough for him, because if he was weakened, he wouldn't have any energy to go. The show begins with the curtain opening up, and Bakugo goes crazy over the drum. I did laugh at his reaction. Drummers tends to be the hype man, so it's even more fitting for him to take this role. Deku is there just in time, and Eri, at long last, smiles. At least the ones I cared got the ending I waited for. All in all, this was a nice chapter that could be the conclusion of the arc. If so, I won't go into greater detail, but I thought it was an enjoyable arc. It didn't repair the faults from the previous one. Though to be fair, this was short and not as serious, though the potential of what could have been is lost if ends here. I'll save my judgment elsewhere. Outside of Assumption, it had nice conflicting moments with Gento and the decision for suspension. The art is clean, and it was somewhat neat to see the step-by-step sequence of Deku going back to UA. I don't know the fate of Gento, though it would be a shame for this development to happen for him only, not be used anymore. We just have to wait and see. The last double page was a nice end spot with the reflection of the chapter's theme, to help others. A smile is worth fighting for. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. Talk about a superhero weekend, huh? Got Infinity War and then My Hero Academia, anime and manga. Life is good. What do you think of this chapter? Do you think we will have more of the festival? If this is the end of the arc, what do you think of the arc itself? Share your thoughts in the comment. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.